Overlanding is more than just a way of travel. It's a way of life, one that takes you off the beaten path and into the wild. Life off-grid offers a freedom like no other, but it also comes with its own set of challenges. One of them, cooking. Some keep it simple while others go all out. For us, it's all about embracing that process, because when you're out there, the food you cook becomes just as much a part of the adventure as the journey itself.
Hey everybody, welcome out here into the Norwegian wilderness where spring finally has decided to show itself for the first time this year. It's a beautiful day, the birds are tweeting, the sun is shining, and I'm just happy to be here, to be honest. But I'm not here to talk about the weather or birds tweeting. I'm here to show you the kitchen in our Jeep, to give you a full tour, a walk around per se, of how we decided to build it, what has been working well for us and what has not been working so well for us. As well as that, if you stay around until the end, I'm gonna show you guys a pretty sick recipe, if I'm not gonna lie. That is very easy, very quick, requires very few utensils, and that you can make on your next adventure. So come with me, guys. So welcome to the kitchen in our Jeep. It's quite a sweet setup, if I want to say so myself. I built this drawer in here to fit perfectly, but also to leave room on the sides for different items to stow away. The dimensions on the drawer is to accommodate this cutting board here from AO, which is a very nice cutting board, and it actually comes out. So it's just a press fit in here, it fits perfectly well, and it kind of slides perfectly in place. But the fact that you can take it out actually makes it perfect for washing and just throwing stuff off the cutting board when you need to. So in the back here, we decided to have some spices on a magnetic rack that has been working amazingly well for us. We have, 9, 11 different spices in here. That really is everything we need when we're on the road. And this magnetic board has been quite amazing for us. I'm gonna link it down below. We bought it on Amazon. It was quite cheap, and the magnet is strong enough that it doesn't fly around when you go off-roading. So that's been great. Then on the bottom drawer here, we have different compartments for different needs. So in the back here, we have our cooking utensils. And the reason why we have it all the way in the back is so that we can open the cutting board and still have access to this compartment, which contains our cooking utensils, knives. We have our dishes in here. We also have our stove in here and our pot. Everything fits in here, everything that we need for cooking. And then we move to this compartment. We have glasses. We have these very nice plastic glasses that have a very nice feel to them. So it feels nice to take a drink or have a beer or whatever. This works very well for that. And of course, we needed to also have some wine glasses because we both love wine. And then in the back here, we have a compartment that contains a lot of different items. We have our CO meter, battery bank, lights, gas canisters, and everything. And to be honest, we didn't have any problems with the gas canisters in the Greek heat, not anything actually. And I think the reason is because we have the rooftop tent on the car. That is actually protecting it from the sun a little bit. So the car didn't actually get that warm inside. And then here on the right side, we have another drawer, which is, as you can see, quite a bit taller. And that is because we didn't have to accommodate for having the cutting board there. So that means that this is now our cupboard where we have all our dry ingredients. We have bread, oats, coffee, as well as here in this compartment. We like keeping other dry ingredients, and also a bottle of olive oil fits perfectly in here. And it has also been space for sometimes our whiskey, because it actually fits perfect in here, the whiskey that we usually go for. And then all the way in the back, we have stuff like bags, aluminum foil, and different things that we just keep away that we don't really need access to all the time. We have on the top a fridge and our battery. The reason why we decided to make this storage section this height was just so we can accommodate this 45-liter fridge with the slide on it. And it works perfectly well. We have the battery to the side. We're running an All Powers S2000 Pro battery, which has more than enough capacity for us. Last summer we didn't have this battery, so we only been testing this battery out for the last few months actually. So when we went down to Greece, we had an even smaller Bluetti battery that worked perfectly well the entire 6 weeks we were on this journey, and it still continues to perform well. We just wanted the comfort of a bigger battery now that we're doing winter overlanding and we needed it for a diesel heater. Also, you know, my girlfriend, she loves drying her hair out with the with an hair dryer, and it actually works quite well here with this battery. So this is the Old Power's S2000 Pro, which is powering our fridge, which is the kind of the piece de la résistance of the whole setup here. It's a 45-liter fridge from Dometic, and the CFX3 45-liter. And this fridge has been working perfectly well for us, even when the temperatures reached 40 degrees in the shade and we were driving around in Greece. This still kept it to like 0 degrees, and we kept it on 0 degrees just so we could have some ice cubes in there and, you know, have very cold water when we needed it. And yeah, it was perfect, and it didn't really consume a lot of power, and we could run it the entire night and into the morning without even having to worry about the battery draining. And we simply drove a few hours every day, and that charged the battery enough to keep it going. And if at some points we needed to stay like one extra night in a camp, we just had a solar power, and it all worked very well. And then over to another key element of our setup is this table from Frontrunner. It's the fold-down table. I think you guys have seen it on different builds as well. And it's very simple. You just one tab, you take it down, you move over to the side, and you pull it out, and then you have a perfect long workspace to be cooking. So here you can fit the stove, you can serve up here, you can put the different condiments, have some glasses, some drinks. And for us, it works perfectly well because, as I showed you before, we have the cutting board from AO here, and when you look at it, it turns into kind of like an L-shaped kitchen right here, which is amazing. So I'll set it up and I'll cook a meal quite shortly, and I'll show you how we do it. And then for our cooking gear, we have kind of like cut it down to the stuff that we need to make a nice meal outdoors. We don't feel like we need more than this. We have a couple of additions that we're going to make to it, which is going to elevate it to the next level per se, but we haven't met any limitations with what we got here. So we have a proper frying pan from Tefal, which is quite heavy. So we're looking to replace this with something a little bit lighter, but it is nice to have a proper thick bottom frying pan. And then we have 2 big plates from AO. Wooden plates that is absolutely amazing to eat from, and makes it feel special, you know, when the plates and the cutlery is nice. And then we also have 2 smaller plates from AO for lighter meals. And then for our stove, we decided to go with the Fire Maple Saturn X stove. It's a very nice, sturdy, compact stove. That even comes with a tripod to place it on the ground. So if you want to cook outside of the car and away from the car, if you want to do that, it comes with a tripod so you can stand freely on the ground. It also operates with normal gas canisters, which has been very good for us. We have had no problems finding gas wherever you wanted to. And if you're in Greece, if you're in Germany or Norway or whatever, yeah, I guess even in America and Asia, these kind of gas canisters is the standard for cooking stoves, for camping stoves. So it's been very, very nice for us. And then I have a cutlery set that I kind of custom made from AO set. So it is actually AO steak knives and steak fork together with the full set of cutlery from AO. And this is stainless steel, and it's probably a little bit overkill to have something like this. But for me, I mean, I love eating off nice cutlery and nice plates. So I felt it was quite essential for us to have something like this. And then over to this Carhartt tool roll, which you're probably wondering about. And this is actually the utensils for the kitchen. So in here we have a spatula, a ladle, and everything we need really to cook. We even got the sharpener, stainless steel straws, and probably what I think is the best part of this whole kitchen setup is the 2 knives from AO, which are super sharp and they look great. I mean, I'm a little bit nerdy when it comes to matching stuff in the Jeep. And when I saw these black knives, the black Damascus knives from AO, I was certain I needed these for my Jeep. So it's been amazing to have a nice cutting board, a nice stove, and all these things that make cooking feel enjoyable. And that's with anything. There's always improvements and things to do differently. So there are 2 things that I want to do differently with this drawer section. One of them is to cut out a lot of weight, because right now it is quite a lot of weight in here. We use 15 or 16 millimeter plywood, I believe, birch, which is quite heavy. It's super sturdy, but it doesn't need to be this sturdy. I mean, this could probably survive like a bomb attack. We could probably hide in here and be safe. So yeah, we're gonna cut out some pieces on the sides. We're gonna drill holes in it. It's gonna look the same, it's gonna function the same, but it's just gonna be a lot less heavy, let's say, a lot lighter. And then the second thing that I want to do, because I'm quite tall, I'm 183, but my girlfriend is quite a lot shorter, and getting into the fridge, especially for her, is quite of a not a struggle, but it's definitely a task. We have a fold-out stool that we put on the ground to get up, and yeah, I just want to adjust it. And I've seen that Alucab has this slider where you pull it out and it comes down and it kind of like tilts down. So that is actually something that I was wondering on modifying this existing Dometic slide, put it maybe on like some hinges here in the front, so that it can simply come out and like, you know, flip down or like tilt down to ease the access into the fridge. So please let me know in the comment down below what you think about our kitchen setup. Does it inspire you maybe to make some changes on your existing setup? What is your favorite element? And most importantly, is there something you would have done differently? I love feedback because that's the only way to improve what you're doing. So please let me know down below, and let's get cooking, because that's gonna be the only way and the most appropriate way to showcase how this kitchen truly works. All right, so it's time to cook the meal you guys have been waiting for. I guess this is probably the best part of the whole video. I'm gonna show you guys a very quick and very easy meal to make on the road that tastes delicious and has very few ingredients. We have some slices of bread here. We have two different cheeses, a gruyere and a raclette, some onion, and also some bacon. And for me at least, bacon, melted cheese, and caramelized onions, you can't go wrong with that. So all of you know grilled cheese, how simple it is. We're just gonna elevate it to the next level, and it's gonna leave us feeling really satisfied in the end. So we're gonna start here by cutting up the bacon and getting it into like thinner strips. The reason why I like cutting the bacon into thinner strips for like a grilled cheese sandwich is because it's kind of hard to chew the bacon, and I don't want them all to come sliding out of there. So we're just gonna take the bacon we have, I'm gonna cut it into very thinly sliced pieces, and it's very easy when you have a very nice and sharp knife too. Then we can get some heat going here. So just start the gas. And then we'll let the pan heat up a little bit. Get it nice and warm. And the thing with cooking bacon is like you have two different options. Is to put it in while the pan is still kind of cold, and that's gonna render out more fat from the bacon when you're cooking, or you can get it in there when it's already hot. For me, I'm actually planning on using the fat from the bacon to cook my onions in it. You know, hit two birds with one stone per se. So let's just spread it out here and let it start cooking. And you know, that's one of the reasons why I love outdoor cooking so much, is just being outside, cooking a very nice meal under the open skies. And I don't know about you guys, but it makes me feel like the food tastes even better when I'm outdoors. I don't know if there's like a scientific explanation for that, but for me, I love it. I love it so much. And then while the bacon finishes cooking, we can just cut our onion. For this, we're just gonna make some nice long strips. It's gonna be very, very easy. And we don't want the fine chopped onion when we do it caramelized, because it's gonna shrink a lot. And we also want this consistency to be kind of like it ties together in a way. So for this recipe, we're gonna keep it to one onion. We got so many other nice ingredients. We don't want it to be overpowering. We just want it to be a nice like hint of like caramelized onion in there. I do love caramelized onion, but I don't want it to be like the main ingredient of this grilled cheese sandwich. So now we'll just take one of these small plates from AO. I'm gonna pour the bacon over there. Let most of the fat run off, because this is still very nice fat here to fry our onions in. And it's gonna give our onions a little hint of bacon as well, which, you know, I think most of you like bacon. So now that we got all of the bacon out of the pan, we can add the onion in here. It's gonna fry very nicely and quickly, and it's gonna taste just amazing. And now while the onion is caramelizing in the pan, we can start cutting up the cheeses. The reason why I'm not shredding it is because I find it a lot easier just to slice some nice and thin slices here. So this is the cave matured Gruyere. We're gonna have some very, very nice and thin slices here. Not too thin, I mean, we all like cheese. And then we can start slicing up our raclette. So we're gonna do the same thing here, just make sure we have some thin slices that we can play with. The rind, we take it off, we don't use that. And we make some nice slices of raclette, which is gonna be just simply amazing. It's two quite strong cheeses, but I love, me personally, I'm a much bigger fan of strong cheeses than mild cheeses. So, and as you can see, the cutting board and knife works super well for this kind of application. And it's a very sturdy cutting board. I can put a lot of pressure down here without anything happening. Now that's the raclette cut and ready to be assembled. So we're gonna put 2 breads on the bottom here. We're gonna start off with this raclette. We're gonna break it up, and every other piece is gonna be this Gruyere. Like so. Then we can add a little bit of bacon on top. And we got our caramelized onions ready to go. They're not full caramelized, but is perfect amount of cooked for this application. Add a little bit of onion on there. And then we're gonna finish off with some more cheese on top. So I like going the other way. It's gonna be very cheesy. It's gonna be a very cheesy pie. Now we take it on top, bada bing, bada boom. Now this is ready to go back in the pan. And now with the same pan as before, with the bacon fat still in there, we put our grilled cheese sandwiches right in there. And with these kind of grilled cheese sandwiches, I like to flip them often to make sure that they don't get burnt, and also to make sure the heat travels evenly into the center so we get that stringy cheese we're looking for. Okay, let's have a look. I think they look pretty finished. Oh yeah, you can see the cheese dripping down. This looks perfect, and a nice crust on top. Perfect. So let us just put this on a plate here quickly so we can present them and cut them open. Let's see how they look. Now for the big moment of truth here. Let's see. So let's cut them and let's see what we got inside. Oh yeah, that looks pretty perfect if you ask me. So here you have it, guys. A very simple, very quick, very nice meal to have outdoors. It's just cheese, bread, bacon, and caramelized onions. So if you like these kind of meals, if you like outdoor cooking, if you like adventures, if you like overlanding, and if you want to see more of this rig behind us, we got a full rig tour, like a walk around coming up soon. When we got everything dialed in on the Jeep, we're gonna give you the full tour, and we're gonna also let you know which places we're going this summer. So stay tuned, subscribe down below, and please let me know what is your favorite meal to cook outdoors. Do you like keeping it simple with simple ingredients and ready-made meals, or do you like taking the more complicated approach, let's say, like us, with making more extravagant meals on the road? Let me know down below, and I'll catch you next time.
Out here, a good meal isn't just about the food. It's about the experience, the process, finding a quiet spot, setting up, and making something from scratch, no matter where you are. Overlanding isn't just about rushing from one place to the next. It's about slowing down, making the most of what you have, and enjoying the simple things. Because sometimes, the best part of the journey isn't just where you're headed, but the moments you create along the way.